doing it. There is enough stuff happening in the world right now to make you feel lousy. Don't add to it. Don't make it harder for yourself. This is the best time to test your habits. If you're lost, feeling low, if it feels like you got nowhere to go, take a breath, look and see that there's still so much that you can be. If in need, I'm around. We will pick your feet up off the ground and we'll turn it around. Welcome to the Captivating Creatives podcast. This is a podcast for an actor, singer, dancer, creative artist of any kind. We'll be taking one deep stage dive into personal development for creatives with interviews, intention setting, getting yourself motivated, and so much more. Ready? Go. Hello, guys. My goodness gracious, let me tell you, it has been a week of information, a week of a lot of self-worth, a week of a lot of self-work. And is it just me or are the weeks going faster? It definitely feels like they're starting to go faster. The first week and probably the second week felt like 15 years, whereas this one I feel like I blinked and it's Friday all of a sudden. Also, I'm starting to do the letting you guys know what day of the week and what day of the month I am recording on, just because things are changing so freaking fast right now. Things are moving from one thing to the next, and the next thing you know, that's also closed, and this is irrelevant now, and you know what I mean. But I'm going to let you know it is April 3rd. It is Friday, April 3rd. This podcast episode will come out the Tuesday following. I'm not going to do the math and count how many days that is. That's too much work for me right now. But what I want to say is today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to stay healthy. Obviously, I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm not talking to you about how to stay healthy from the freaking virus that's happening. What I'm saying is how to stay healthy both in the body and in the mind during this freaking crazy time. I'm just going to tell you guys what I am currently doing, what's working, what's not working, what I'm wanting to work on more, and some things that you can do super easily to keep up your own health journey, even when the world went, oh, what? Like, you guys can still do all the health things that you were wanting to do. It might just be different. Yes, gyms are closed. Yes, group fitness classes are obviously not a thing right now, and that can be so incredibly frustrating. But it is never a lack of resources. Even in a pandemic, even when all your resources for group health and fitness have gone out the window, it is a lack of resourcefulness. Here's what I mean by that. Can you go on YouTube? You have internet, or else you wouldn't be able to listen to this. Can you go on YouTube, pull up a HIIT workout, or pull up a yoga video and watch it? Heck yes. Also, you guys, so many apps that normally have subscriptions are doing them for free during this time. I'm going to give you guys a great example that I am preaching to the freaking heavens, and it is called Down Dog. It's an app that is yoga, and it's fantastic. It's not just like, and no shots on my girl Yoga with Adrienne. I freaking love her, but it's a lot more customizable. You can decide what level you're wanting to work at. Intermediate, if you're an advanced human, you're amazing. I want to be you someday. Or if you're super beginner, you can decide if you want to work more towards balance, more on upper back, more on flow, stuff like that. And it's all for free. It's so cool. You can also customize your music, which I loved because I love yoga practices with like super spiritual music, especially if I'm doing like a flow. But if I'm doing like a freaking yoga workout, I want some upbeat music. I want some electronic. I want something a little bit more like and you can do that. And it's so cool. So highly recommend Down Dog. And this isn't an ad. This is just the stuff that I'm currently using. And of course, if you've been following this podcast for a while, if you know me in person or if you know me on social, you know how near and dear running is to my heart. Running has officially been dubbed the quarantine exercise plan because you just need to go outside. I know, it's scary right now. It's scary right now going outside. But you can run outside and not get within 6 feet of people. It's not that hard. It's just a little bit like Frogger, but you know, we do what we gotta do. I'm going to tell you guys a story real quick. And I kind of shared this on last week's episode, but we got official confirmation that our half marathon that we have been working towards since October, November has officially been canceled. Obviously, this sucks. Do I know that there's so much worse stuff happening in the world? Of course I do. I'm not saying, woe is me, my life's the hardest right now by any means. But what I am saying is something that was a goal of mine all of a sudden is getting shifted around. But I'm not letting that all of a sudden, because of an outer accountability fall through or an outer accountability rework around, I'll say. Just because of that reason, my goal didn't go away. On that day, I am still running 13.1 miles. I'm just not doing it in an official party or an official event style with a bunch of other people. I'm just doing it with me, my boyfriend, some shoes, and a Nike app that tells me, hey, you reached your goal of 13.1 miles. But what I'm saying is that running has become such a huge part of my own personal sanity because of the fact that, A, it gets you outside. I know that stuff outside can be a little scary right now, and you can run with a face mask. I see so many people doing that. I have like a little hood jacket thing that pulls up to my face, so especially if it's cold outside, I can cover my face with it if I need to do that. Like, you can just get crafty. And I will say, and I'm sure you're experiencing the same thing, I have never seen so much human creativity pop out of the freaking blue. There is so much creativity happening in this world, and if you don't find beauty in that, wake up. This is amazing. Like the stuff that people are coming up with, the stuff that's happening on social, the stuff that people are creating for others to help out with humanity. It is amazing. I am proud and honored to be a part of the human race right now, even though, yes, there's a lot of negativity. I'm going to talk more on that later with perspective, but another thing that I'm doing for my physical health is waking up every single morning at the same time, not to throw off my routine, and moving my body in the morning. I know personally that working out in the morning works best for me. Obviously, I know it might not for other people, but the main point of this is for my physicality, for my sleep purposes especially, I am waking up at the same time every single day that I would even if we weren't in quarantine. Period. I made a commitment when I started my physical health journey that I would wake up early so that I had time to move my body. I had time to write in the morning. I had time to drink the stupid water. I had time to make coffee. I had time to make a green smoothie, which is freaking delicious. I make smoothies every single morning. That's like a huge handful, if not 2 handfuls of spinach, some cherries, some bananas, some blueberries and strawberries, some protein powder. I use Costco's, but like organic. I like to put decently healthy stuff into my body. And almond milk, and then you blast it. That's it. And we have that every single morning. But I make it a point that I wake up early enough that I can do all that stuff so that I still feel like a human being by the time I sit down at my desk at 9 a.m. It's really important for me to do that. Also, eating healthy. Okay. Do you guys remember, or maybe you go through this right now, or this is something that I used to do, especially when I was like home when I was younger. I would say, I'm hungry. I'd go and I'd eat, and then I'd sit there. I'd go and I eat again. I'd sit there. I'd go and I eat again. And it wasn't that I was hungry, it's that I was bored. So, what I am doing right now is not eating when I'm bored. I'm eating when I'm hungry. Listen, a lot of us have a lot more time on our hands, and it's a lot easier to reach for old coping mechanisms that maybe had worked in the past. Food for me was a huge coping mechanism when I was growing up. Huge one. But I am not letting that old coping mechanism pop up out of the ground because all of a sudden I'm spending a lot more time at home. Again, I eat when I'm hungry. I'm not starving myself in any way, y'all. This is not one of those dealios, so before you at me. But what I am saying is that I'm still putting food into my body that makes me feel good. I'm still putting healthy food that I know works for me. Again, some people I know that didn't work. Before I was a runner, I never ate carbs if I could. I didn't want to. I noticed I felt so much better if I didn't. But obviously, now I'm a runner. I have to eat carbs before I run because or else I'll die. But you guys, like, you learn what works well for you. And you know what? Never a better time than when you're home all the time to figure out what makes you feel good and what makes you feel lousy. A lot of you already know it, or your intuition knows it. You know it in the back of your head what makes you feel good, what makes you feel more energetic. But you're letting the quarantine be your excuse that you don't have to do that right now. Stop it. Yes, you can eat the damn cookie. I don't care. But what I am saying is that if you are eating nothing but junk and you're letting that be your excuse to quote unquote enjoy the quarantine, you are going to come out of this not feeling good, not feeling healthy, not feeling like you have energy. And you guys, this is not your excuse to all of a sudden go back to all sorts of coping mechanisms. This is your excuse to really test your habits and see how strong and see how really meaningful they are in your life. There have been so many moments where it's easier for me to choose the frozen pizza than the salad. There's been so many times where that's easier. And I'll admit, I've caved a few times. I'm not freaking perfect, but I mostly 99% of the time put food into my body that makes me feel better. And I can tell you it is a night and day difference. This quarantine is not your excuse to go back to old eating habits that you know didn't serve you then, you know don't serve you now. Stepping off my high horse. And last but not least, something that I'm doing for my physical health is sleeping. I know that sounds so silly, but you guys, my sleep routine I take so seriously. I was talking to a friend a few weeks ago, and she was saying how now she's like staying up until 4, she's sleeping in till 11 because she doesn't have anything to do. And I'm just like, and how do you feel? And she said, lousy. I don't feel good. I don't feel motivated. I feel like all my day is gone. And I'm like, what would happen if you went back to the way things were before? And she texted me the next day and she's like, oh, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. So you guys, if you're noticing that you're now letting yourself follow the excuse of watching YouTube or Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever until all hours of the night because you quote unquote have nothing to do the next day, if that's making you feel bad, if it's making you feel lousy, stop doing it. There is enough stuff happening in the world right now to make you feel lousy. Don't add to it. Don't make it harder for yourself. This is the best time to test your habits, to test what makes you feel good, and to see how really, really, really important it is in your life. Because a lot of people are it's like, you know how in January, everyone makes their New Year's resolutions. They say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And they do it for like 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden it falls flat on their face. This is like that. If you had habits that made you feel so good, that made you feel so alive, that made you feel like, oh my gosh, I have a purpose in life, I have drive, I have motivation, I have energy. And then the quarantine happened and that all went out the window. This is like the February slump of New Year's resolutions. Don't fall into that. Connect back to why you created those habits in the first place. Why did you make it a point to make yourself healthy? Why did you make it a point to eat better? Why did you make it a point to exercise every single day? Connect back to that and it'll be easy to fall back into those habits again, even when you're stuck at home all the time. Next, mental health. Shockingly, me as a life coach, I am extremely tested right now in my mental health. All of us are. I'm not alone in this. But I am pulling out all my stops. Every single freaking one. And sometimes it works instantly. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. And I have so much energy. I feel focused. And I'm good for the day. Sometimes it takes a lot of work. And I'm saying this because I think it's really important to note that it's not easy right now. And if you are feeling that, really hard, that you do not feel like life is easy, you feel like every day is a struggle, you're so good some days and some days are just really, really hard, that's okay. But I don't believe that now is the time to let yourself feel sorrow and go down that path. I think now is a great time to feel, connect to what you're feeling, acknowledge what you're feeling, but know that that is not the path you can choose to go down. You can choose to go down a different one, a path of joy, a path of excitement, and it might just take a lot more work than it normally does. Some days it might take more, some days it might take less. I'm going to give you guys a few examples. One day, I was not feeling good. Like, not like sick or anything like that, but I was just like, my eyes were hooded, my breath was low, my energy was low, my shoulders were slumped. I was not feeling great. So I did my gratitude in the morning. Didn't really connect to it. I did my dreams and my visualization practice. Better, not great. I created my results for the day. My result for the day was to breathe, be present, and be kind to myself. Okay, I think I can achieve that today. Then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to rest for a minute. I'm going to let myself feel creative. I'm going to listen to something that makes me feel better. And it worked. But it wasn't until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon where I really noticed that my body felt differently. And here's what changed. I changed what I was consuming. Because I noticed right after I got done with my gratitude, my visualization, my journaling, all of that stuff, I noticed that I was hopping on and off social. I was looking at some things, but I was looking at my phone during it. I was super distracted on my computer. All of my work was just half-assed done. And it wasn't until I put all of my distractions away. I locked my phone in my room. I put my headphones in. I blasted the volume. Sorry to my eardrums, but I blasted the volume and I consumed a video for 42 minutes and 42 seconds that is all about perspective and how we can use this time to test our perspective and change it. How we don't have to feel fear right now, how we don't have to feel anxiety, how we can choose to feel other things, to feel joy, to feel connected to creativity, to feel connected to humanity even when we have to social distance. And you guys, after that, I felt like I just run in the morning in the sunshine, in fields of flowers, singing "The Hills Are Alive" with the sound of music. I felt freaking amazing because I changed what I was consuming. So that is so important, especially during this time. If you are consuming, I know I hit on this a lot, so deal with it because I'm going to do it again until it gets through to you. If you are listening or reading or absorbing a lot of social media or news or negative energy people. Let me say that again. Negative energy people, because they're in abundance right now. If you are absorbing a lot of that, no shit, you don't feel great. No shit, your brain is filled with anxiety or depression or anger or frustration or fear. No wonder. But if you change to something different, if you change to something that gets you excited, if you change to something that makes you feel hopeful and creative and joyful, you are going to feel so much different. You're going to feel like you just took one of those energy pills from those movies that make you feel like you're a superhero. Those movies exist, right? I think so. So please, please, please watch what you are consuming because right now more than ever, it is so important to be really mindful of that. Another thing I'm doing with my mental health, and this is my biggest one that I feel honestly super conflicted about because so many things on social and in the motivation world are saying, use this time to the fullest, write the next great American novel, you can be better because of this time. And I think that you can walk out of this stronger than we went in, but I do not believe that now is the time to take the radioactive pill and push yourself harder than you ever have before. I'm still working towards my goals. I am still working towards my goals about the same before I went into quarantine. I'm not pushing harder. I'm still taking massive action. I am still taking big, giant, scary steps, but I am not doing them because I'm pushing during this quarantine. That, in my opinion, is another form of numbing. Another form of numbing that I've talked about on here is vegging out, watching Netflix for 12 hours a day when you could be taking a walk outside, when you could be creating, when you could be doing anything as long as it comes from joy. I am not just hoodle-doo, tweedling my thumbs and letting this time pass. I am still working towards my goals because I want to walk out of this being like, look at what I created. Look at what I became. Look at the amazing business leader. Look at the amazing life coach. Look at the amazing skill I learned. But I would have learned that even if it wasn't a freaking quarantine, because I'm not changing my goals because of my situation. I hope that makes sense. So if you are someone who, I'm going to speak into the audition season folks right now, because I know you're feeling really frustrated. And I know you feel like a lot of stuff was just taken away from you. How many times have you said, I wish I had time to organize my book, or I wish I had time to read that play, or I wish I had time to organize and learn a new monologue. I wish I had time to learn how to do my makeup. I wish I had time to look for clothes that I really love. Like, you guys, you have been gifted on a silver platter all the time in the world. Use it wisely. Use it wisely. Again, don't push. There's no need to push here. But if you are catching yourself feeling hopeless and feeling like the world's going to end, you're going to just numb yourself until you get there. You're going to drink a lot. You're going to smoke a lot. You're going to eat a lot. Whatever that looks like for you. I challenge you to tap back into your purpose. What were you made to do on this planet? Everyone's got something. You might think I'm getting a little hoodoo-voodoo-y right now, but you were put on this planet to do something. If you're a creative, what were you put here to create? Tap into that. And don't go on social, because here's the deal. When you look on social, and I'm going to do a huge podcast episode coming up very soon all about comparison and how we feel that even harder during a quarantine. I'm going to do a whole thing, but I'm going to touch on it really quick. When we are scrolling through social media and we're sitting there and we're wanting to numb or we're wanting to distract or whatever it is, consciously or unconsciously, but you're going to see 50 people doing one thing. And then you feel like you, as one person, has to do 50 things. No, that's not how this works. Then you feel like you have to create out of, I'm not enough, I'm not doing enough, out of entirely limiting beliefs. No. If you create instead out of joy, out of purpose, out of excitement, do you guys remember what it feels like to create from excitement? How much better do you feel? How much more proud of that project do you feel? How much more do you want to refine that project than just get it out into the world and be done with it? How much more time and care do you put into that project? So freaking much more. So stop telling yourself the little lie that you need to go onto social to numb or to find inspiration, because you're only going to find anxiety and overwhelm. Instead, tap into what you love to do. Do you love to play piano? What's that one song that you've always been telling yourself, if I had enough time, I'd probably learn it? Go learn it. You have nothing but time now. What I'm saying is, you guys, just get into the joy, get into the gift of what this is, and you will automatically come out of this better than you went in. So, mental health, changing what you're focusing on, keep moving towards your goals, keeping your routine solidified and steady, and letting yourself create from joy and excitement rather than overwhelm and fear and feeling like you're not enough. Physical health, waking up at the same time every single day, keeping to that sleep schedule because it's so freaking important. Eating, are you hungry or are you bored? Let yourself not fall back into old habits because of a quarantine excuse. How much more proud will you feel if you come out of this still having the same amount of energy or more energy than you did coming in? I am planning on taking health extremely seriously during this time. I am taking health extremely seriously during this time, and I really urge you to do the same. Move your body. period, for 30 minutes at least, if that's going on a walk outside and getting some sunshine or fresh air, if that's going on a run. I'll tell you guys, let me put this into perspective real quick. Last October, I could not run more than a mile. I could barely run a mile if I wasn't dying. It was so challenging to work my way up to that first mile. I had to do baby steps. I had to run for 20 seconds, walk for 10, rinse and repeat. I have done that work. And now in April, early April, 6-7 months later, I am going out on a run this weekend for 9 miles. And I'm excited about it. So if you are in those baby steps, I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. My amazing sister, who is one of the hardest workers, one of the smartest people I know, has never been a runner. And that's okay. That's totally okay. But recently, she decided to start. And she is working her way up to her first mile, and she is so freaking proud. And I want you to know it is never too late to start this. If you've always told yourself you're not a runner, try it for a month. Try it for a week and see if you feel better. Just a thought. But if you are somewhere at that very beginning stage where it's freaking hard and you don't like it, keep going. Find enjoyment out of it. I listen to podcasts while I'm running. I sometimes listen to music, but I like to learn as I run. Or I have guided runs on my Nike app, which is free, by the way. So if you guys are looking for a fun app that gets you creative, that gets you excited to go run, Nike Run Club. It's free. It's great. I freaking love it. It tells you your pace. It tells you how far you're going. It tracks you on GPS. I super love it. So sidebar. Again, not an ad, but we really like it. And last but not least, take care of yourself. You are doing the best you can. Don't let this episode immediately throw you down in the shoulds. You shouldn't be doing anything except being right now. You shouldn't be doing anything except be right now. Whatever that be looks like for you, though, is going to differ from person to person. I hope this inspires you to take this time a little bit more intentionally. And I hope this inspires you to maybe look at some of the habits or maybe some of the fallbacks that you've done over the past few weeks. First of all, there should be no guilt whatsoever in that. I'm going to challenge you right now. There should be no guilt. There should only be learning and looking at that and saying, oh, okay, I notice I fell back into an old habit. I recognize that I did that, and I choose from here on out to not do that again. Or I choose from here on out to recognize that I feel better when I don't do that. So, I adore you all. I hope you're doing good. And please, 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 if you found some joy, if you found some inspiration in this episode, share it with a friend. Share it on social. Tag me, please, if you do share it on social. Share it on social. Tag me, please, if you share it on social, because I really want to see that and I want to celebrate with you and give you the biggest virtual high five. Also, rate it 5 stars. You guys, it helps so much. I hate asking something of an audience that I adore and love so much. But if you do adore and love this podcast, please rate it 5 stars. It helps so freaking much. And if you're like, you know what, I'm feeling extra generous because I have a lot of time on my hands and the world needs a lot of contribution right now. Also, writing a little comment. It goes so freaking far. But you all are amazing. I hope to talk to you very, very soon. Have an amazing week. Have an amazing weekend. I know I'm recording this on Friday and it comes out on Tuesday, but I'm going to say have an amazing weekend anyway. And I adore you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. You guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you liked this episode, share it with a friend. Share it on social. Scream it from the mountaintops. Rate her 5 stars. Whatever floats your boat. But it really does help get the word out there. Also, if you're wanting more daily mindset tips, follow me on Instagram at Life Coach Baker and join the Facebook group Captivating Creatives, where we do a bunch of worksheets, live trainings, all for free. Also, major shout out to Cooper Baldwin, who wrote, composed, mixed everything a human can do for music for this show. Check him out at cooperbaldwinmusic.com. Thanks, Cooper. You're amazing. You guys have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon.